Hello, I'm AbbyX Toycat, and welcome back to the episode of the Minecraft Bedrock Update Adventures Let's Play. And I have a confession to make because I really love Caves and Cliffs Part 2 generation so far. You can probably tell that I've been inspired in this world with my little miniature mountain over there and my little miniature jingly jangly cave over here. Basically, I like what we're seeing in the 1.18 previews so far, and one of the things that I'm most intrigued by, whether it's a glitch or an intentional feature, is seeing vines in the new mountains. This is a way of hinting there are lush caves underneath it, but I think there's just this fascinating, mix of vines, which are very jungly in nature, with snow, which is very much not jungly in nature. And so in today's video, where I'm apparently taking a lot of elytra damage, I'm going to be going ahead and combining those two and seeing exactly how it goes. So let's go first of all to the forest over here. And so first things first, we're going to need to craft some shears. We're going to need to use those shears and get ourselves some vines, because one of the ingredients I don't keep around very often, maybe this is really my fault, is I just don't have many vines lying around. It's not a very useful resource most of the time, and the few times you do need it, you usually would just bone meal it, and you'd, again, you can get a lot of vines in the most useful way with very little effort. However, today, I don't want the most useful way to use vines. I want to use them aesthetically when combined with another block that I coincidentally have far too much of. By the way, a fun fact I'm sure everyone knows about vines is if you remove one, it removes all of the ones below it, but you get nothing for it. So if you want to destroy vines just for the sake of it, then destroy from the top down. If you want to get as many vines out of it as possible, destroy from the down up. Wait, destroy from the down low to the top high. Why is down low a valid thing to say, but top high or up high is very strange? These are questions I don't know the answer to. But a question I do have the answer to is, why do you have so much ice and so much snow, to build the combination of these two things? And the simple answer is that while I'm destroying my ocean, a lot of this happens to be frozen, not because it's cold enough to freeze, but because it's spawn frozen in, and it's not warm enough to melt. Very weird things about temperature in Minecraft, but long story short, I have all of this ice, which I have to break and pick up anyway, and I figured rather than just breaking and picking up ice for no reason and storing it, what if I used it? And so I've got a lot of ice, I've even got some snow, and we're going to be using these ingredients to make myself a lovely little temple just over here, actually, because while I've been draining this ocean, I figured the area just to the left of this ocean, this thing right over here, as you can see, is a very interesting little biome because it spawned as a spruce, and then it's got a little bit of snow in here still, but very, very little snow. And I figured this would be the perfect place to do a brand new build, because if I don't like it, it's hidden away in the trees, and if I do like it, it's really cool because it's hidden away in the trees and it looks mysterious. So it's a win-win. I just have to chop down some spruce trees, and so here is before. And here is after. It's interesting because after chopping down those trees, you could say the climate changed to be significantly worse. You know what, there's probably some link there, or maybe there's not at all, who knows for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna have to now get rid of the remnants of the tree that are lying around here. Should I use shears or should I use a hoe? This is really the ultimate question, because ultimately, using a hoe is the faster way of doing things, but if you shear it up, then you know, like, ooh, well, that day 5 years from now when I desperately want some spruce leaves, what is this? Oh, it's a sheep. I thought it was a layer of snow. You know, sheep are ruining everything, more proof. But, that day 5 years from now when I need all of these spruce leaves desperately, then I'm gonna really know that, having them there would have been useful, and I'm gonna really be thankful for this day in the past. And that's the interesting thing about Minecraft. If you play on a world for long enough, eventually every dumb resource that you collect will come in useful, sometimes because you just really do have a build that needs you to have spruce leaves for whatever reason, but a lot of the time it's like, well, if I have 10 stacks of spruce leaves anyway, what if I build around with it? I think being, resourceful in Minecraft can lead to creativity by itself, but that's enough for now because we have to go to sleep. Anyway, now I have a lovely little area on which to build my new idea, and I had ice, I had snow. Whenever you have two complementary blocks, at least whenever I have two complementary blocks, the immediate thing I'm tempted towards is, why don't we build that into a desert temple? And I was considering for a while this week. I was like, I don't want to say I was dreaming about it, but I thought about it a lot. Like, it'd be so cool to have an ice desert temple. I was going to do it in the Nether, and then I thought to myself, actually, is that cool? And the answer, of course, is yes. That is the coolest idea in the history of ideas. But then I figured I could go a step further. Do you think ice will melt here, by the way? You know, let's hope it doesn't. But this is one of the very few areas of my world, by the way, I'm not lighting up as part of my torching the entire world project. So, you know what? It should be good for the time to come. And also, apparently, going 20 blocks across is going to require me to chop down more trees than I figured. So, useful lesson to know. But yeah, I was thinking it'd be fun just to do a desert temple, and then I figured again, let's do some twist on some things. Let's actually try and make like a customized desert temple, because I feel like every I hate, you know, this biome is the worst. There's so many just random holes for me to fall into. I feel like every structure of Minecraft, like, you know, it's fun to build by itself, learn how to replicate, and then once you've learned that, maybe it's fun to go into other areas and like making a better version of it, right? I feel like with anything in life, that same attitude of like take the thing that exists and try to do better. It's how you improve at things. It's how you learn skills and lessons and all these sorts of things. And so yeah, I wanted to talk about something because in this past week I've done a whole bunch. I've been trying to do a whole bunch of new things that I had no idea how to fathom doing before. Stuff like, again, like, I don't talk about them too much, but like I've had to work on some like, you know, building projects with people and like speak to people from so many different places just to get something done for my house. And so like previously I'd be like, I have no clue how you get someone to confirm you can knock down a wall, and then to knock down the wall, and then to confirm that it's all good. But in the last week, I've done that, and it's been kind of cool. But it's like I've also been speaking with some people about, you know, this electrical stuff and like with plumbing stuff, and like who is it that, you know, here's an interesting one, right? Who is it that, how do you get a dishwasher installed if you don't have one already? It's such a simple question, right? Like everyone has a dishwasher. Everyone doesn't actually have a dishwasher, by the way, fun fact. But you know what? It's a very common appliance. Everyone can have a dishwasher, presumably. And so like, okay, you speak to an installation person. It's like, well, is that a plumber or an electrician? A dishwasher uses both. And I spoke to a plumber, and they seem to think it's an electrician's job. Spoke to the electrician, they're like, yeah, you get a plumber in here, and it's like, God, why does no one quite... You know, it seems really simple from the outside, but it's more complex on the inside. And so yeah, I've been learning a lot of those things. Also, my inventory is always such a mess. I feel like today, especially so. So I'm gonna go pick up all of these little bits now. Probably best if I also chop down some more trees. Maybe use one of those trees to make a chest to store the excess garbage in, because none of this is getting picked up. Oh, I have 2 chests lying around already. Why is there 2 chests in my inventory? I really would like to know. It's fine. This is a 2-wide structure, so we just throw them down over here. Hope no one notices, and we deal with our rampant hoarding issues. I'm so glad I get my hoarding out in Minecraft as opposed to real life. Can you imagine what it would be like if I took the same attitude I have towards my Minecraft inventory and I did it in the real world? It would be horrendous, you know? Someone would have to dig me out, and you know, I would die, and it'd be a whole mess rolling around me. I've been like, you know, every time I read about hoarders, there's this like fascinating thing where so many people just want to jump on the, yeah, that is a person that is just deeply wrong and broken and something, you know, it's like a very sad train, you know, like it's a neckbeard problem, like this person needs to prioritize things right in their life. But my immediate reaction, because like I totally feel the hoarderdom, is like, man, that is a rough place to be in my opinion. I think my general rule in life is that anyone who feels compelled to do things that they really, really don't want to do, you know, there's like a sadness towards that, and hoarders are like at the top of that spectrum because they know that it's like causing this pain to them and to everyone around them. But, you know, I digress. The point I'm trying to say is that doing new things can be hard sometimes, right? You have to learn a whole bunch of things. And learning new things is hard because it requires you to like change some existing part of your day-to-day routine. Whether that day-to-day routine involves, you know, hoarding and collecting every single newspaper from the past 20 years, or if that daily routine is just, you know, get home, play Minecraft, take a little, you know, time to eat a snack that you enjoy. Whatever it is, you know, like there is a routine that you have to break out in some way, and that can get really substantially hard for things you really, really don't naturally want to do. You know, the examples being like the gym or whatever. But yeah, there's a ton of particular fields that are very tricky to like learn to dive into if you have never done a thing before, right? There's this weird assumption that like as you age, the number of things that you have done steadily increases. And like that's probably true for especially the ideal life, right? Like that you should be slowly increasing the number of things that you have tried because you just have more exposure to life. It'd be weird if every single day was exactly the same as the last, even by chance, but also it's kind of like a given that we're trying new things. And so one of the weird things is like, like as a guy, there's a lot of I guess like, for instance, like plumbing and electrical work is something, it's just assumed like, oh, you know what this by this is, right? I literally can't even say the terms because I have no genuine clue. Or like, oh, you don't know how to plaster a hole in your ceiling? Oh, you don't even know what plaster is? I genuinely don't. I know walls and ceilings are made of plaster. What's going on with though? And so, it's interesting because the woman's equivalent of this is, I would say, like probably. Actually, it seems offensive to say it that way. So instead, how about I just I explain a question that I've genuinely been asked by two female friends. You don't have to believe me on this one, but it's something that it's like, it's come up twice now, so it clearly is an issue that more than two people have. Because, for every person who asks, like a hard question, there's like 10 people who want to ask it, but are kind of embarrassed to do so. That's the school classroom, theory right there, proof right there. The school classroom effect, where it's embarrassing to seem like you want to ask something, even if everyone really wants to know. They're all doing a good enough job not knowing, so like you kind of have to know. And so the biggest example of that, I feel like, if you're a woman, is like, okay, so as people get older, they pick up all these skills to do with like beauty, makeup, fashion, etc. And so I have two separate female friends who asked at some point, like, so one of the things I'm not very good at that is like considered like an adult skill is like how do you like work out the the beauty stuff, the makeup stuff, the like how you dress and all that sort of stuff, because everyone around just looks like an adult who has learned those things, but I have no clue where. What is the magical classroom that everyone went to where they learned how to? And it's totally true if you think about it from a guy's perspective of like, yeah, how do women just know like how mascara works? I had an argument with like my friend's roommate about like, does mascara, because she said like mascara makes your eyelashes longer, and I was like, no, it makes them look longer, right? And then actually, she proved that no, it adds something onto your eyelashes, actually making them physically longer. That's what, they don't just look longer when you put mascara on them, they are longer, and it's like, well, yeah, that's something I'm not expected to know. But like, okay, if I was born in just a very slightly different circumstance, right? I was just born in the other gender instead, so I would just have to like pick that up. It's like at some point, when would the prime opportunity be to learn about what mascara is and actually does? And again, these situations can happen socially or whatever. I think I'm going to now have like a ring going around this, by the way. I think that's kind of a necessary thing at this point. But like, what is the point where you would learn about that sort of thing? And it's really hard. And so, yeah, I had two separate friends be like, yeah, I don't actually know how to do those things to look like it. And I wanted to share just because the correct response is meant to be, I'm sure of it. The reason that most people would confide something like that in you is so you can be like, no, you look like a full adult. You look like you know what you're doing already. Thank you very much. Very, like you meant to give the compliment, I feel like. But like I've got this brain where like I try to problem solve more than I try to give sympathy, because there's enough sympathy out there in the world. In my opinion, my humble opinion, I really do feel like if you need someone to be sympathetic towards something, it's very easy to give. Can you have ice on top of a chest? Does the chest still open? It does. That's useful to know. But there's enough people being sympathetic, which is great. I feel like sympathy is something you really want sometimes. Someone to, if I just say, hey, I think I look bad today, you can't see what I look like right now. But if, I feel like some number of people will be like, oh no, you probably don't look bad. No, I literally look terrible. It's probably not that bad. If you don't have the information, why would you say it? Like, and that is I feel like compliments that aren't like, at the very least coming from a potentially sincere place, aren't of any value. But that's me being weird and toy cat again, I think. But so yeah, I was thinking about what is the answer to that question. There is a thing I have no clue how to do myself, but how would I answer on behalf of someone else? How do you do this thing that a lot of people like me know how to do? And I was thinking about it, and I think the easiest way, because I have had to do some similar things in my own life. Like, I'm trying to buy an e-bike now that I live in London, and that they've delayed making e-scooters legal for 6 months because they delayed the trial, and then when they delayed the trial, they're like, well, now we have to delay a little longer so we can see, just in case e-scooters ruin London, and it's like, Anyway, it's like I can't use my e-scooter legally for another few months, and so I'm buying an e-bike because I like micromobility, and I found out that the e-bike I was looking into buying, it was called an eBrompton. I'm probably not going to buy it anymore, but you could go into a store and you could just give them your license, and then you could go on a little test ride. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And the specific stores that will do this, and so I was like, wonderful. I went into one of the stores, the nearest one to me at the point in time, and I go in and I'm like, hey, I heard that I could do a test ride in a eBrompton here, and the guy just gave me a stare for like 3 seconds as like, the electric Brompton. I was excited to look into it, and then I got another stare for another few seconds. I was like, oh god, I've misunderstood this interaction entirely, it seems. It felt like at the time, see, now we have to get more ice. Good thing there's some of it randomly floating in the air here. But it felt like at the time like I'd entirely misunderstood the interaction, like, because he gave me a very weird stare, and then was eventually like, yeah, I guess we do that. And again, I can't quite, again, it's like, it was like vaguely awkward, but it was like, oh yeah, it was fine, a big part of me was like, yeah, well, it's gonna be kind of hard to do, but in reality, it's like, if the worst thing that could have happened, right, in that interaction was he goes, no, you're gonna have to buy it. And I go, thank you very much, have a nice day. Maybe move on to the next store, or maybe go, okay, I don't need to try this out after all. But like, the try is worth the thing at the very least. I think this attitude of like, what's the worst that could happen, is actually probably a surprisingly healthy one in the long run for helping you with this sort of stuff. So I'm gonna break a ton of this ice that needs to be broken off anyway. As long as you don't break the water, you're effectively just lowering the water level a little bit. So, you know what? Sure, need the ice. Might as well be doing a part of my next project anyway, which, if you don't know, I'm in the middle of a live stream project to drain an entire ocean. I'm streaming it about 3 times a week. Obviously only once or twice this last week. It's been a busy week with Minecraft maps, but next week we'll be back at it at least twice, including this Thursday. If you want to see me drain an entire ocean. Why am I draining an ocean? Why does anyone do anything, man? This is my temporary base I'm using for the ocean draining, by the way. I've got enough lava automatically generating to keep my furnaces running, automatically drying out those sponges. It's a surprisingly in-depth procedure to drain an ocean. Who would have seen that one coming? But yeah, you'd figure it'd be a surprisingly in-depth procedure to learn, like, how do you learn how to do everything that is like expected of people like you, or whatever the case may be. And I think maybe I'm approaching this wrong. I'd love to hear, because about 20% of video watchers and about a third. Actually, I think it's more like 10% of video watchers nowadays. The male-female ratio has gone surprisingly male recently, but on the live streams it's like a third male, a third female. So I'm just gonna, again, that's the only 2 genders YouTube gives me. I'm not trying to make some statement by saying that. The only the thing I wanted to say about this was that since a lot of you watching this are likely going to be of the type of person who does know those things, tell me if I've got a good answer to this question for whenever it next comes up. I don't know if it will next come up, but I'm just like, it's one of those things. I want to see if I've got the right idea or if I'm entirely wrong, because I feel like if you are entirely lost in the entire world of femininity and beauty and fashion and makeup and all those sorts of things, my advice is like, okay, you go to a hairdresser. Is that what it's called? Is it called a salon? Whatever. You go to the place where they do the hair things, and you go, hey, I don't really know what I'm going for with this, but I'm willing to try something new. And then again, this is just my imagining from movies. They go, oh yeah, you'd look great with X, Y, Z, and then they'll cut your hair in a certain way. And then you'll look great, maybe. Or you'll look great in their opinion. I feel like, beauty is subjective, and that's why all of this seems very silly. But, like, you'll be someone's version of great. Probably the hairdressers, and maybe yourself, too. Because, honestly, a lot of the times, just to enjoy something, we just need hype men, right? We need people to be like, yeah, you are great. And you know what? Having someone say you're great, sure, that would be wonderful. So, yeah, here's the base of my pyramid now, by the way. I like this already. It's very simple, but it's very nice. Now we have to have some pillars, some turrets, I think, there. actually called, coming up from the sides here. So these are going to have snow in the middle, which is going to get complex fast, I imagine, but let's try our hardest anyway. But yeah, so, also, is there something above me? There definitely is. So I was thinking about this one, and, you know, like, obviously the hair thing is easy, but, like, you know, what about, you know, hair isn't something that you have to learn yourself. What about the skill of doing makeup? And besides knowing that there's, like, huge beauty channels that have literally millions of subscribers and, like, is some people's passion, it's like, well, who wants to get into that? I feel like you either, you know, you try to learn the world of... I'm sure if you search, because I'm sure this is one of the most common searches, like beginner makeup tutorial, you find something on that. Or even better, here's the Toy Cat solution, is you go into like a... again, this is just my thought. You go into like a... Not a salon, what are they called? Like a makeup place? The place where they do makeup professionally for like a wedding or something. And you go, yeah, I don't really know this. Can you do it to me and then tell me what you did so I can do it myself? And I feel like you might learn some things there. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, this is a whole unfamiliar world to me. And then, you know, the same thing is true, probably, right, for the fashion thing. Like, I know for a fact, also, I think only this one, only that one and this one is meant to be the desert temple side. I think I need to get rid of this entirely and just ignore this. I think it's just got to be these two. But, yeah, I feel like, you know, like, in reality, you know, like, we're very obsessed with ourselves to the level where, like, we assume that we are the only ones to have ever faced a problem. And that's, and that's interesting because, like, you know, obviously when you say it out loud, you're like, well, it's not true. But you think it a little bit, right? Like, I think I'm the only one. I said this on a live stream forever ago, that, like, I'm, like, somewhat nervous about the idea of doing an interaction I haven't done before. Like, if I was going to go into a cat shelter, or, like, any animal shelter, I'd be like, ooh, yeah, so, like, do I have to, like, go in there being like, yes, I am here to adopt a cat. Please show me the cats that you would like me to adopt. Or do I just go in and say, yeah, I'm just here to browse? You know, like, the fact that I don't know what to say in that interaction will probably lead to, like, something awkward, right? And it's like, oh, something awkward? That sounds awkward, funnily enough. So I think then we go back a layer over here. This is simple enough. I probably should start using some, should I use some spruce leaves in this? Actually, let's see. Can you even put vines on ice, by the way? I don't know if you can. Oh, you can. That's cool. So we'll just throw a few random vines as we go about this. Trying to get that vibe going. Because again, ice by itself is a very clean look. Ice with vines looks like it's been overgrown. Like something terrible has happened here. Which is what I want. This whole world is something terrible that's happened. Even this entire Let's Play. There is a chance that I'm off base with this and the comments are disagreeing. But yeah, I feel like, even as a guy, right, so fashion is something that is, like, again, you're not thinking about it, but, like, you're consciously participating in it. This is something that blew my mind when I realized it, is, even if you, because, I forget who even said this to me, but someone said at one point, like, even if you wear whatever every single day, you're still putting up a message to the world that, you know, like, the things you wear are, like, the first impression a lot of people get from you. If you wear, I don't know, like, clothing that is all black, people assume a certain thing. If you wear clothing that is very, I don't know, sporty, people assume that you're active, etc., etc., etc. Like, non-stop, that the things you wear say something about you. And even if you don't think that they're saying something about you, it still is, because by wearing things that are very casual and lazy, you're just saying you don't care, which is a message that you are portraying. And that was like a mind-blowing thing to me, like, even saying nothing is saying something. You know, if someone goes, so, what are your thoughts on the Armenian genocide? And you say nothing, that is very, you know, that is still a statement in its own weird way. Probably a bad example to pick in the middle of a Minecraft. You know what? Let's stick with it anyway. Straight from fashion to the Armenian genocide. You know, it all adds up here on the Toy Cat Let's Play channel. Just to clarify, this is the Toy Cat Let's Play channel is now Andrew Andrews. There is no longer a Toy Cat Let's Play channel. I guess the Toy Cat Minecraft channel. Let's just call it IBX Toy Cat channel. This is the place where you watch the videos, which I hope you're all enjoying, by the way. You feeling good about that? I hope you're feeling good about it. Also, I was trying to make it... Oh no, I've done a good job. So it's a desert temple, but because this is a chunk right here, and I can't A chunk is 16 blocks. You can count them if you really want to, but there are 16 blocks from here to there. I have to make this too wide or it's going to look slightly uneven. But again, that's part of my modernizing a desert temple. I'm not just building a desert temple. I'm building a desert temple, and then I'm going to build something on top of that. You know? Okay, so now we got this built. We're going to remove a block to get up here. And I think what we should do is have, like, an entire layer frozen, and then have, like, an X up here is my thinking. Like, I guess these turrets are going to be taller than normal, but that's entirely fine. I feel like a cross and then an X or something. I worried there's a chance it'll be perceived as a political symbol, and we'll have to change this at some point. But we'll just assume that's not going to happen for now. And then here's what that looks like: a cross with an X. Yeah, not sure. You know what? The people who like ice don't like crosses. You know, it's not even a cross. It's a desert temple logo, which means it's fine. You know what? Is Minecraft secretly religious? Who knows for sure? I don't know. But yeah, so I was thinking about this concept of like not knowing how to do a thing and how like terrifying it is, because there are so many of these out there in the world, and there are so many where people are just like, oh, you don't know the thing. So like one of the weird things about me is I don't like music. Not like, oh, I don't like most music. There are like 100 songs in the world I can listen to and feel some genuine emotion. You know, like, ooh, this is great. This is that, the other. Like, it's very, very. I'm not someone who can like be like, yeah, I'm just gonna listen to music and see if I like something. That's not how it works for me. So I'm not a music guy. There are very few opportunities in my life where I listen to music. I started listening to music in the shower, like, you know, how many songs would that be? Like 3-4 songs this last week, and you know, that's a fine place to do it. I prefer using the shower for ideas time, but you're not sure. Been having some fun. Okay, I'm gonna make the top of this out of snow and snow layers. Where did I put my snow layers? Did I put it in the chest? We'll just put our little usual this thing, and then instead of having stairs which go around it, we'll have snow layers, and we'll see how that looks from the outside real quick. You like it? I like it actually, a surprising amount. Okay, and now we just do the same on the other side, and it'll be el bueno. It's a little bit trickier to do on this side, but that's fine. We gotta make things tricky for ourselves. But yeah, so I'm not a music guy. I don't listen to it very much, and it's so overwhelming and intimidating. I remember, like, people are like, "Oh yeah, what was the first concert you went to?" And it's like, none. And it's like, "Oh, you've never been? That's gotta be exciting." It's like, not really. It actually sounds, one of the least pleasant things in the world to me. Sounds like paying a huge amount of money to listen to a slightly worse version of a song, but like in a big stadium surrounded by other people. And obviously, you know, that's me being cynical. I think in reality, it'd be very fun because like these people all. I think being in a room with people who share a passion with you is worth a lot of money, especially when that passion is very niche. So if your passion is like, I don't know, who's the most popular artist? Ed Sheeran. I've heard of him, so he must be some amount of important. But like, you know, if he's your favorite, you can find that in every room, right? There is someone in every room who'll be like, no way, I loved Divide. See, I know Ed Sheeran's songs, except that's actually an album. They're all named after mathematical functions for some reason. Why is that? I don't know. Why do I know that? Because it's reached that level of cultural familiarity that like it's not actually saying something to say you like that particular music, right? Which is great if you're a fan of it. Now you can find people who like it. But my point here is, you know, being in a room full of people, like, I love the Minecons. They're called Mine Festivals now because, you know what? Minecon is the yearly show that's happening fairly soon. I think we're going to get an announcement for that this week, by the way, just to talk Minecraft news briefly. If it's not this week, it's going to be next week. Like, you know, it's going to be soon. Or it's going to be never. There's an entire possibility of never, but I think soon is more likely than never. For most things, actually. Actually, you know, yeah. So, I feel like everything in my life, I have this like problem of time. Everything happens soon, or it's never happening. You know when people make plans and it's like, oh yeah, we'll do that. We'll get lunch sometime. It'll be great. And it's like making no commitment to time or plan. And it's like, if there was a perfect opportunity to plan when to, you know, do dinner, get lunch, hang out, etc., it'd be now. This is the moment, and we're letting it pass by saying, yeah, let's do that. You know, like, it's in the abstract sense. I feel like there are very, very few things in life, and they do exist, that are like things that you can be like, yeah, in you know, a few years, yeah, like you know, and it's interesting. I wonder why there, you know, like I'm planning with friends to go to. Well, we actually planned to go to Korea in October of 2020. It's funny, we didn't go. Is there a reason why? I can make that joke all day, every day, by the way, and I enjoy it every time. Like, yes, we all gave up lots of travel-related plans in 2020. Who knows why? I don't know. I just know we're all very sad about it. Anyway, speaking of things we're all very sad about, actually, should I just go pick up some ice from my chest, and then we'll mine this as part of the ocean draining stream, happening, by the way, this Thursday. See, it's happening on Thursday. It might even be happening tomorrow, on Tuesday. I just don't want to commit to it right now. So, happening Tuesday and Thursday, probably Tuesday, definitely Thursday. And because you know that's 2 days from now, you know it's definitely happening. Whereas episode 1000 of this Let's Play, like, yeah, you know, we're gonna get there eventually, I hope. But, you know, honestly, can I tell you about you know, I like to give you updates even on the behind the scenes, like, you know, stuff YouTubers try not to mention because it's too, you know, technical, and who really cares about it? You just want to see videos. For 2 of the past 3 weeks, when I've uploaded a Let's Play, I've lost subscribers that day, and not like just a few, like well over 100 each day. Like, the Let's Plays are not only now at this point not helping the channel, which as you will know, not helping. Every video that doesn't help a YouTube channel is actively harming it because of weird YouTube craziness. But now it's gone to the point where it's not just that, like, oh yeah, every YouTube video that doesn't help a channel is actively harming it. It is the next level of the Let's Plays are actively causing people to unsubscribe. And a part of me is like, whenever, you know, I rarely care about people unsubscribing. In fact, it's probably a good thing if you choose to do so if you don't want to watch the videos. Like, I don't want someone to be subscribed to a channel they don't want to be subscribed to, on the business level, but also on like a personal level. Like, I love, you know, just like that Minecon example, I love that I'm surrounded by people who care about the channel and want to be around it. I like that you know, we're all very similar. You and me, we all have this shared love of myself. But you know, like it's a real you know, thing of like, I secretly am some amount glad when it happens, but it's also like at some point you should still stop it happening again on business levels, on even on just like a personal health level. It's not smart for me to do things that are actively self-destructive, like the hoarder from earlier. Like, it's you know, it's like, it sounds like you're doing it because you really want to, but really maybe it's doing some things in there. And so my like what I have to do is work out, okay, so how do we make the Let's Plays more successful? I'm hoping this one, where it's like, okay, we started kind of snappy, but then we still do the normal Let's Play thing later on. As you can see, very few cats right here. I'm showing you all of me building the thing, which I personally value greatly. So we'll try this, and then maybe people go, nope, that's also awful. And we, yeah, I'm gonna like try to work it out, I guess, because yeah, the natural state of things is decay. A lot of people don't fully realize that, and you know, I'm happy for those people. But the natural state of things is deteriorating, and let's try and reverse that here with the Let's Play. And so we'll be doing that somewhat soon. Maybe it's fun if you mix in Q&As. That's obviously a lie. I don't think that's actually a good idea. But yeah, I feel like the few Let's Plays that have done super well are the ones where I've like collected all of a particular item in Minecraft. I feel like the few Let's Plays that have done, I think the entrance, by the way, has to have some. It's gonna need some packed ice, which I have around here somewhere. Do I have packed ice around here somewhere? I do. We're gonna want some packed ice for this, and we're gonna want some snow. It's gotta be a standout little feature. But yeah, also I think I might have built this too small. I think I was going for even, but I went for too tiny. But you know, it's fine. But yeah, so I kind of you know, like I'm working on that, and it's kind of been. I know every now and then I'm like demotivated. Like, you know, the reason that I prefer working on, you know, like, because on a money basis, there is no reason for me not to only make videos and streams on this channel. But the reason that I actually enjoy working on the second and the third channel, and even the live streams, which are often a worse payoff than a video, is because it's like, yeah, people here are directly excited to be here. There's something about that is very fun to me, that like people being around me because they want to be around me, rather than because of some weird magical, not magical's the wrong word, but you know what, magical anyway, obligation. So yeah, this is what we're looking like so far. Oh, the desert temple kind of looks like an A, right? Can you see how it's like an A? That's cool. Yeah, I really like that. That is accidentally very well themed. I think we need to do more variations on this. Like, I think we're gonna make the top more of a fun spire. We might even make the pyramid go up by more blocks at the same time. Do I have enough? Yeah, I've got enough ice to do that. Let's start having every one of these layers actually climb up by 2. So when you enter this room, there's like a staircase. It doesn't look like that, but that's how it'll look for us. And so this needs to be where this level of glass is. So, sorry, level of ice is. So yeah, let's just, so I guess we'll go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And if it looks too weird, then it looks too weird. But that is a risk I'm willing to take. Here's what it looks like from a distance, by the way. I feel like the weird rendering of, like, clouds behind ice is doing some strange things to it. Like, can you see that right there? But otherwise, I kind of like it. I feel like, right now, the weird rendering is doing it more favors than harm. By the way, did you know banners will render behind ice? Even when it makes literally no sense for them to do so, they'll still do it. That is a pillager banner chilling below that ice right there. It's even behind some water behind the ice. I can't see the water. I can't see the cave. I can just see the banner poking out and doing weird things. You know, Minecraft rendering, especially in Bedrock, is a very strange place to be. But, yeah, I was, in this last week, I've been making a concerted effort to vaguely improve things. I finally, for the first time in a very long time, I'm in this situation where I feel like everything is some amount of steady for now. I feel like there's an end to that steadiness coming, you know, relatively soon, and that's fine. That's something we can all anticipate and expect and hurt for and whatever else. But it's been cool because now there's like a steadiness. I can start to like, okay, now we can start working on the things that need to be done. There's maybe it's just a me thing, but I always feel like everything in life is either about like just barely surviving, you know, barely keeping your head above the water, or it's about, you know, I think I've given this example before of like there are 2 things you need to do on a day-to-day basis. One is like, you know, keep the garden to you know, I know you can farm your wheat and you can, I don't know, build your ice temples. You need to farm the wheat to get the food going so you can build the temple, but if you spend all your time farming the wheat, then you won't appreciate building the temple as much. Okay, so then after this layer we go for 2, and then we go back to 1, and then we'll see how that looks, and we'll see if we go all the way up with it. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. But, yeah, I think, I feel like I'm finally at this point, at least temporarily, where there are still things that are happening every day that are annoying me, but I have time to focus on, you know, the YouTube videos and being like, oh god, why isn't August usually a lot of people's best months? Why did mine go so tragically terribly? You know, like I've been having some time to focus on these things. Like I've had some interesting deals come through that I'm trying to work on. I don't want to talk too much about them because there's weird NDAs covering it. But I've had a very messy year or so, and I'm now at the point where it's like, okay, we have to start putting some things in the right places now. And I don't know, it's that thing of just, ooh, that's terrifying. What if you don't know what the right place for things is? What if, and so on and so forth. It's very easy to like come up with reasons to why everything is actually very broken. But sometimes it's like, okay, but what about the solution? I think this is something that I've always kind of felt. Even, like, I always used, I hate feeling it because I had a teacher at one point, I feel like I've told this story too many times, that was like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter the fact that you were late because, you know, blah, blah, blah. It just matters that you're late, and you suck as a result. And, you know, like, therefore you're getting, I'm gonna scold you for being late, and I'm not going to listen to your excuses. And you know, when you have like a super valid excuse, you're like, but no, it was like there's nothing I could have done here. You're yelling at me for nothing or whatever. You know, when a teacher or a whatever else, or you know, like when also if we put a couple of vines there, I'll be able to climb up here and I can do my stuff. There we go. That's nice. Love to see it. And then we'll put some ice over here, I guess. And there we go. That's not quite how desert temples normally look, but we'll let it slide. And then this, I guess, goes through here. That seems incorrect. It feels like we made a terrible mistake in here somewhere, because this should be going through to there. So maybe we'll just put that across. Oh yeah, I think this goes back an extra... Whatever, it's fine. And then from here, we do the exact same thing, but we build outwards and up another 2 blocks, because it was 1 block before, and we'll see what the desert temple looks like. We'll wait and we'll see. It'll be great. I love experimenting sometimes, because, you know, you make you learn a new thing. Just like I was saying before with like, oh no, this is totally going to end up not as a square, right? Is it going to end up as a square? Is this perfectly diagonal to that? I think it is, actually. I've said it before and I'll say it again that, like, you know, trying new things is very important. That's why every single day we're learning some very tiny minor thing. You know, that relates to kind of everything from this, right? Like, oh yeah, it's after a certain number of years of not learning a particular thing, maybe because something, you know, traumatic is going on, and you miss... You know, you miss the real experience that you'd otherwise get, and you're like, oh, yeah, sure does suck, huh? But you know, it's kind of like, okay, but you gotta get around that and get back to how do you do the thing, and so that's where I've been. I've been like, okay, I really need to know how how this works. Even, you know, the dishwasher thing is like my personal little nemesis, and it's like, but how does everyone just understand this? Or how does... Oh, also, that didn't work how I intended it to. What if I place, like, vines there and then crouch place from them? Nope. If you tried to build on top of vines, you'd just break the vines. Why is that true? I do not know. But it's very sad regardless. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get right back to this wonderful little alternating thing. I could have probably done it in, like, a format where I made it, like, curve upwards towards the top, rather than just weirdly alternate. Weirdly alternating's fine. You know, we're calling it weird alternating, but really it's actually beautiful and brave, and there is no type of alternating better than weird alternating. That's for sure. Anyway, so yeah, in Minecraft, sometimes you get caught up on the weird stuff in between, but it's important to focus on the big things, too. And today, I made a big thing that sits back here, and even if you just sometimes enjoy it from the distance, it's like this physical progress that, like, makes happy. It makes me happy, at least. Oh, and now we've got a 2x2 hole at the top, because again, it's an even number of blocks. And now we can look at it and say, actually, not too bad, right? I feel like because it's ice, it's got less defined corners, which is kind of a problem in some places. But otherwise, this is really, really cool. And looking at it from the inside, too, I love the way the sun fits through the gap there. You know, this is all perfect. I have created perfection. All I need now is some more packed ice. And then perfectly under where this is, I need to build a tunnel. And what I'll do with the tunnel, actually... Okay, so again, this is just the start of an idea. We'll play around with it later. The tunnel will go to some places. But yeah, so one of the big things that I got done this last week also, that, like, it's been on the back burner forever, because it's not, like, a immediately necessary task or anything like that. But I finally got Hexed published, the newest Minecraft adventure map. I prefer challenge map. It's a challenge map that I've made with the team. It's really, really, really good in my opinion. I felt like there's a few areas where I'm like, ooh, maybe that's like not clear enough, and it'll, you know, like it'll confuse people. But yeah, it's like it's gonna be one of the best. It's the best map I've ever worked on. I think I'm very, very worried about what people think about it. You know, who isn't worried about other people's opinions? If we weren't worried about other people's opinions, then there wouldn't be a fashion industry that tells you that when you wear active clothing that you are sportier than average. And again, it's interesting because... Oh, I'm not picking up any of this, Carl. It's really interesting, actually, to think about. Okay, so I'm going to need to make some torches, but I can't do that until the creeper's dead. Okay, we're good. It's all wonderful. Yeah, it's really interesting talking about the fashion world and about, like, there are so many things that you have no clue about until someone mentions them to you, and you're like, oh, that's a thing, huh? And then it immediately makes sense. Like, sometimes having other people explain our own brains to us can help us understand a lot. And it's weird that it's true. But that's why the fashion thing is so interesting, or maybe so widely thought about and shared. By the way, I need torches for the draining project, so I'm doing that right now. Because these are caves from, again, 10 years ago when I generated the world. And so they have a ton of coal that I've clearly not needed yet, because I used to just ignore coal in caves. Because everyone, you know, like everyone, I used to think, I have enough coal forever. But you don't have enough coal. Always get more coal. Even if you have all the torches and all the furnace fuel in the world, you can use them to make coal blocks. And coal blocks are one of those weird resources you can't... The only way you can get it is by crafting coal, and the only way to get coal, as opposed to charcoal, is by mining it. And so don't you want coal blocks, a way to show off those accomplishments? I bet you do. But yeah, I just like the Minecraft equivalent of building a thing, just like the real world equivalent of finally getting some forward tasks done. You know, actually getting the important stuff done in the life. I finally done the Minecraft map equivalent, and we've got... It's going to be like at least a couple of weeks until it's available for everyone to play. The CERT team has a huge backlog, it seems, as best I can tell, right now. But again, ignoring that and all the weird things about it. Also, I'm trying to... Am I below the water right now by accident and not knowing it? Yeah, 54 blocks. Oh no, we're perfect. We dig straight into the cave, which is where we want to be. And so now we just make it 2 blocks wide. And look at that. We now have like this perfect route into this little ice temple. And yeah, I feel like this would be a really great place to hide one of the discs when I rearrange the discs in the next update for 1.18. Because the 1.17 update for this map, it's still in CERT as well. Again, half the weird thing... You know, it's interesting. That's just an excuse, though. I should have realized it would take a month when I said it was coming out. I thought it would be, you know, a week or two. But no, they have to check every part of it, and they're spending a long time doing so. But that's fine. People can spend long times doing things, like how I spent a long time on this video, and I hope that you appreciated that. If you do really like the Let's Plays and you want to see them, even though the YouTube algorithm says no, consider becoming a member on the channel. It's something that really does help out. If you want to support even more directly, maybe in like a one-time thing, because you don't like the idea of monthly subscriptions, who does? Maybe consider checking out the live streams where I'll be doing this draining. Oh god, was that a drowned I saw in there? I think, yep, that's a drowned. Let's just break our way through the surface. Let's get out of here. Maybe let's not get out of here. Let's just, oh, I just filled these in. It's, it's sad to be swimming through and, breaking the things that I just fixed. But that's fine, okay. We have to jump out of this and then place a, there we go. Just like that, we're covered again. We can see the weird Illager banner, and we can jump out of this wonderful little enclosure that is one of the very few dark places in an otherwise perfectly lit world, which causes it to have like a lot more mob spawning, which causes me to avoid it by saying, thank you for watching this video, thank you for all the support on the channel over the last year and years that have been turbulent, and I look forward to a better 2022. Wait, is it not the end of the year? We've still got 4 months until 2022. Ugh. I'm just going to start saying it's 2022 now, and that way, when the year does come around, I'll be ready to saying it. I say it's 2020 so many times that I need to get ahead of myself and pre-prepare saying it's 2022. Because you know what, there's a certain rhyme to 2022. It's got 3 of the same number in it. It's 2022. You know, it's a good time to be alive. But you know what else is a good time to be alive? Shortly after this video finishes, because that's when you get to start watching the next video, which I'll see you all in shortly. Goodbye.